Hello everybody and welcome back to our channel of Nifty 50 Running. Firstly, apologies for not getting something on sooner. It's been a busy couple of weeks working and live, etc. as everybody else will be aware. So we thought we'd make an effort this week, try and get a little bit of something on, and hopefully Jonathan is going to get something on too, which he said to me could well be stretching, which is something he's very good at. Further to my last one, which was about low heart rate training, MAF running, whatever you want to call it. I've currently ended my training block of speed work and now doing a bit of MAF training. Currently running at 130 BPM, trying really sort of to stick at it as religiously as possible, which is great on the flat, and downhill can sprint a little bit, but going uphill, got to be very disciplined, nearly at walking pace. So anybody else that's doing it, stick at it. It does have its benefits and it does really work. So there you go. So today I'm going to talk about fueling. Fueling for races, not so much training because, well, we all have those different methods and what we like and what we don't like, but fueling for a race can be quite specific. So the first one is for 5k. Now 5k is not something I really do apart from the park run, and I'm quite lucky that it's literally a couple of minutes down the road from me. So I would get up a couple of hours before, have a bowl of porridge, maybe a bagel, some peanut butter on, and that'll be it. And my warm-up would be sort of little 5 minutes jogging on the spot, etc. at home, and then jog down to the start, a little bit of stretching there and warmed up, and then off we go. And my cool down will be just the jog back home, so it's all over and done with in no time, and not sort of much sort of specific to it. My next one is 10Ks. Now 10Ks, depending how fast you run, how fast you go, what you're trying to achieve, I've found for myself, again, sort of have something a couple hours before, and for me, I found that I love a bowl of porridge, but this time with banana in. But also I sometimes change the banana. I'll have blueberries and strawberries in it. But I'm not saying this is what everybody should do. This is what works for me, and I've found that it has worked on my 10Ks. So I have that a couple of hours before, give it a chance to settle, etc. Do your warm up. I tend to do quite a bit of stretching, some sprints, but not too much, not overdoing it, just to get those fast twitch muscles working and warmed up. Occasionally, I might have a strong coffee a couple of minutes before, a couple of sugars, just to give me that extra boost. It depends how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling a bit jaded, a bit tired, it just gives me that little bit of extra. But we all know on race morning how we feel. Sometimes you can go there and just feel absolutely spot on, and you know you're going to fly around and you're going to get PB and you're really chuffed with your efforts. And sometimes you can go to the start line, and as I have done on a few occasions, I've just not felt 100%. I remember going to I think it was a 10k in Nottingham, one of the Run for Alls, and even on the drive down, I didn't feel ill or anything, but I did feel as though it wasn't going to be one of them days. And as soon as I started running, I was okay, but there wasn't really sort of any extra speed there or anything, and strength, and it wasn't a struggle as much. But I knew that was a day where I want to improve my time. I won't be going sort of at any particular speed, and I just went round what I felt was a good effort. You know, if I remember rightly, it was quite warm on that day as well. Maybe I was dehydrated before the start. I'm not sure. Then again, there's been other races. I think I did the Bradford 10k a few years ago, and it's quite wet, quite windy. But I went to the start line and I felt really, really good. And I found that those moments when you do feel good is just to go for it, you know. Don't sort of hold back. Just make that effort. If you're feeling good and everything feels right, just go for it, because it might not last for long. So that's what I did. And Bradford's quite a friendly course, and I had my porridge and banana, and I was off, and I felt good. I think I got PB by a couple of minutes. I mean, and so at that time I was really happy with that. When I first started though, I used to take a gel before. My brother said to me, no, you don't really need to, but he's talking from years and years of experience. But myself, I like to take, everybody knows, the Science in Sport ones, which are my favourites. Obviously come in different flavours. I like the orange and the blackcurrant ones, and they've been very beneficial. They sort of really helped a lot, give me that boost when you're in the middle of a race. So 10Ks, I don't really bother, like I say, apart from my breakfast, my porridge, banana, and maybe my coffee, depending on how I feel, and that's about it. And a nice little warm up with sprinting. So 10Ks, that's about it really. Now half marathons are a bit of a different matter. Obviously, you're not running as fast as your 10K, but you've got to maintain quite a decent speed for 13.1 miles, which is a hell of an effort. And the first half marathon I did was the Leeds one, and anybody who has run it will know that it's not the easiest to start with. You've got quite a long climb up, and then you get a bit of relief a bit, and then another little climb, and it's not till the back end that you've got some relatively flat running, and then they throw in at the end the flyover over the inner ring road, just to add insult to injury. But as far as my fueling goes for that, again, it's the porridge and banana. My old favourite, and I'm sure a lot of people use that too. On occasions, before I've taken a banana with me, and I've got another one before the start, and literally at the start line, I've taken a gel. Just to get me going and stuff. One of my issues is with my running is it takes me a while to get going. I know people talk about the first mile can be horrible and that nothing works. That's pretty much me, but it does tend to last a bit longer. So on the longer races, if I'm aiming for something a little bit faster like PB, I'll have a gel just a couple of minutes before the gun goes off, and that gets me up and running then. What I tend to do is I'll have, depending how I feel, I'll take 2 round with me, and I'll have maybe one at 4 miles and one at 5 miles. And that's just enough to sort of get me around. By the time I get to the sort of 13th mile, the second one is just about worn off, so it gets me there. There's not much left to go, and I've found that has worked for me every time. It's something that I do as a standard now. One before, one at 4 and one at 9. And every half marathon I've done, it's been a successful formula for me. So yeah, half marathons, that's about it really. I mean, what I have done on the odd occasion is taken half a dozen jelly babies with me, everybody's favourite, just in case I won't feel 100%, and you know, one of them every now and then has given me that extra little bit of a boost. But the main one for me, because as I just mentioned, a bit of a slow starter at races, is a marathon, because I've got time to get into my stride, start picking up my pace and starting to feel good. And you know, that can take like 5-6 miles, but I've still got 20 to go, so I've plenty of time to catch up. And in general, my marathons tend to be pretty even, and I would say I'm probably slower, so my negative splits in general as well. But my marathon fueling is a little bit different. What I do is a build up before the race. So normally like carb load, which is what I do. But say the few days previous to the last few days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I'll cut out the carbs. I'll just have protein. You know, it can be whatever you like that contains protein. I mean, I could say like avocado, which is great, you know, that kind of thing. But so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, no carbs, protein. And then what happens, once you start loading with carbs at the rest of the end of the week, your body tends to store it more because it's thinking, oh, well, we're not going to get any more. So it holds on to it a bit longer, and then you're fueled up for a bit longer. So I mean, the first marathon that I ever did, which was the Yorkshire one in 2018. That's the method that my brother taught me, and it worked really, really well. I think my first marathon, I think I did 3 hours 22, which was really chuffed with the first one. And that was a lot of, obviously the training, but also the method of the protein and then the carbs. And what I did as well is I made up some of this as well before in a bottle, and I was sipping that sort of in the hour leading up to the start. And obviously I don't need to mention that my breakfast was porridge with banana, my old faithful, and that was it. But I say, traveling from Leeds to York, I had to time it right. So I got up at a specific time, knowing what time the start was. So I got my 2 hour window. And again, what I did was, had a strong coffee, about 15 minutes before, and people might say, oh, well, you need toilet, but for some strange reason, my bladder seems to shut down throughout a race, and then the second I finish, or if I'm on a training run, I get the key in the door and I need to go. So my bladder must be programmed now to switch off when I'm running. I mean, I know it doesn't happen to everybody. I'm quite lucky that way. But as far as the fueling for a marathon, there's I've occasionally used that Tailwind, mix that up, and again suck that before the race, and that Morton as well, which is really, really good. They're the ones that I recommend. But I say I like my ISO and I like my Science in Sport. So when it comes to the gels for the marathon, what I try and do is do on 5 miles, 4 to 5 miles for everyone. But obviously it depends how fast you're going. If you're running like 10 minutes a mile, you might need more. It just depends on your own body as well. You probably tend to, I think the best thing is to experiment in a long run. Try it, see what works, see how you feel after you take one, see how long it takes to take effect, see how long it takes to wear off. But I'd say what I do is, I'll have one about 4 miles or so, which could be half an hour, into the race. But I don't just gulp it down. I'll sip it and sip it. I find it difficult to breathe and swallow it, so I'll sip it. And it'll probably take me between miles 4 and mile 5 to take it. So then I just think, oh well, I'll have another one sort of between 9 and 10, and then again it'll take a mile to take it. So I'm having a constant fuel injection, so to speak. So when it gets to mile 14, 15, I'll have another one, and by the time I get to 2021, I'm all filled up, and that's my last one just to get me over the line. But in my pocket, I always keep some Jelly Babies. I've tried those little cubes, and at the Yorkshire Marathon, I choked on it. It hit back in my throat. Couldn't get it out. It stuck to my teeth. So I found the Jelly Babies really, really help. And what I tend to do with them is either have one every mile, or if I'm feeling all right, one every 10 minutes. Just keep a handful. I mean, obviously, it's carrying stuff. I had like a little belt that I carried them on. But now I bought like a little hydration vest. It's only a cheap one, it's only light, it hasn't got that many pockets, but it's enough to get like 4 or 5 gels in and a handful of Jelly Babies, and that's really worked for me. When I did my only ultra October last year, I think I took about 5 gels and a bag full of Jelly Babies, and they really, really worked, because I tried to space the gels, even like I say, for 4 or 5 miles gaps between them. But the Jelly Babies are just sort of to take in between, and every time I've done that method now, it has really worked. And occasionally, if I'm on a long run, instead of taking the gels, because I'm not going at a particular pace, it's all about the distance, I'll take a Jelly Babies, and again, I might have one every mile or every 10 minutes, depending on how I'm feeling and what the terrain is. If there's a lot of hills and stuff, might need that extra boost. But yeah, Jelly Babies I could recommend, but I'm sure people come to me with comments now to say that, oh, this is what I use and this is what works. Well, if that's the case, then I'd love to hear that. It's great to share any information that you've got, and I'm always sort of happy to listen to what people can recommend, because I'll try it myself, and see if it does work. It does make a difference. So the only other race I've done, like I say, is an ultra, and it's not much difference to the marathon, because it was only, well, I say only 30 miles. It's just an extra 4 miles, so I just had an extra gel, an extra couple of jelly babies, and dropped my pace a little bit. So hopefully that information's helped some people somewhere. Like I say, it's not for everybody what I take. You might have something completely different. But if it does help one person, then that's really, really good. So just want to say thank you once again for watching, and your subscriptions and your likes and your comments. And if you have anything that you want to add or tell us about, then please feel free. So in the meantime, thank you once again. And remember, you're never too old. Bye for now.